One of the most loved form of public transport, serving millions around the world, the bus.
What gondola can e'er compare with omnibus, Ye nobles with ancestral pride, come take the only seat inside. A modest threepence is the fare. You might do worse, you might do worse.
And then there is this bus. What's so special about it? It's worth knowing because this bus is a living testimony for the unbreakable human spirit of exploration. So the story goes like this. In May of 1968, Andy Stewart was looking for a way to return home after a working holiday in Australia, and being a bit of an Albion fan, it seemed a good idea to buy a bus and drive home, and bought a number 2004 Albion double-decker bus for $400. By August, the bus was being refitted for the transcontinental journey by a group of young enthusiasts seeking for adventure. They modified the bus to accommodate 14 people with extra fuel capacity, new water tanks, lower deck heating, a kitchen with gas cookers, sink, and a sealed rear platform. 10 am, October 8, 1968, Albert rolled on from the Sydney GPO heading towards Perth to be shipped to Singapore. From Singapore, the crew took a rail journey to Bangkok and flew to Calcutta, while Albert made a quiet journey by ship. During their second leg to Quetta, Pakistan, the team encountered the next major obstacle at Dawson in the Bolan Pass, where it was necessary to dig out a dry riverbed, well assisted by railway workers and the local tourist and highway departments. From Quetta to Istanbul, it was an uphill task with engine block and fuel freezing, to weather at -27 at Tabriz, to crazy local drivers. But in spite of all odds, Albert arrived in Istanbul prepared for their final leg of journey to London. A smooth sailing to Europe was made challenging by extreme weather in Bulgaria and low bridges in Germany. Albert could see the final destination when it rolled into the Zeebrugge ferryboat waiting to cross the channel. After a journey of 132 days and 3 continents, Albert arrived at the Victoria coach station by 11 am 17th February 1969 to a rousing reception by the staff of the station. They even promised to reserve a spot in case Albert needs to make a return journey. The rest is history. Albert made the return journey on that year itself to Sydney and made a rerun for London in 1970 through the Khyber Pass in Afghanistan. By this time, plans were drawn up to convert the adventure experiment into a full-fledged business model. Offices were set up in Sydney and London. Albert made trips number 4 to 9 from London to Calcutta, and trip number 10 all the way to Sydney. Trip number 11 made its way back to London. Trip number 12 to 15 continued to be between London and Calcutta. Andy Stewart wanted to retire Albert in Sydney after trip number 16 in 1976, but had to abandon the plan as political tensions were flared up in Iran. Albert finally rested in England for the next 30 years when Andy reunited with Albert at Brighton. After a long struggle, Andy was able to restore Albert to its former glory with their expert help from his team in Scotland. Albert returned to Perth in 2012 and was driven down to Sydney. The coincidence is that Albert now rests in a small town named Albert in South Wales, Australia. A living testimony and an unbelievable experience to behold. Please like and subscribe, press the bell button, and thank you for watching.